Hello and welcome to another episode of the Expressions Podcast. Today I'm very, very excited because I have one of my best friends on with me today, Elisa Spinello. She's an amazing photographer and she has dabbled in so many other creative avenues, and I'm so excited to talk to her today about her career as a photographer with Cosmo Music and all the other portrait work she does for her own business. And yeah, I'm super excited. Before we get into it, how is everybody doing today? How about you, Brian?
Awesome. I'm doing great. Stores are open. Everybody seems to be in good moods out there these days, which is nice to see. Except if you're on the highway. Have you noticed driving on the highway, people are like complete idiots these days?
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Shelly and I, we took a rare trip to Toronto the other day, and first time since the pandemic started, and just driving down the Don Valley, it was like, oh my God, I literally started clenching. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Shelly was driving, thank God. It was horrible. People are crazy on the roads.
Yeah, I've noticed two things. One thing is that I've gotten used to the roads being so empty and kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden having all these people on the road is kind of overwhelming. And the other thing is, it seems like because everybody hasn't been going anywhere and hasn't been driving as much, people have kind of forgotten a little bit how to drive or drive in long durations. So yeah, I definitely feel that one. How about you, Mark? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm laughing because I was just in Southern Ontario last week, or the last 2 weeks I was down there there was a son-in-law do list at my mother-in-law's house. And we were on the first morning we were there, we were having coffee and a bagel or something in the morning. And we're listening to the radio, and the traffic reports come on. And I look at my mother-in-law and I go, I haven't heard that in a year and a half. She goes, what? I said, a traffic report. There's no traffic. There's no traffic reports in Thunder Bay. There's no traffic. Like you can get anywhere in the city in 20 minutes at any time of day. It doesn't matter. So, but no, I'm excellent. I just came off 2 weeks holidays. I had, saw my parents for the first time in a year and a half, which was awesome.
Nice.
I've seen your parents more than you have.
You have actually, yeah. So it was, my dad was actually in Henry's one day, and Brian threw him on a video chat so I could talk to my dad, which was really appreciative. But no, I found out there's a saying in the mechanics world that every 20-minute job is one broken bolt away from being a 4-day ordeal. And it's the same when you're doing plumbing, only it was a separated drain. And so I finally had to call in a real plumber to bail me out. I phoned up Kyle from he's my wife's cousin, and he came and bailed me out. I have him on speed dial. I go, Kyle, I messed up, and he's like right there. So
good to have Kyle. I have no Kyle. I mess up toilets. I'm horrible with that stuff.
Can I give Kyle a shout out? Can I do that?
Yeah.
So Bradford Simcoe Mechanical. Kyle Corbishley is the owner, and he's amazing, and his guys are awesome. So if you need a plumber, call Kyle. He'll bail me out. He bails me out all the time.
Well, we're gonna have to call him now. I mean, he's basically sponsored the episode, so he owes us something. Right?
Call him, yeah. So
good to have you back, Mark. Good that you're back.
It's good to be back. I missed 2 episodes, and this is a great one. I'm excited to talk to Elisa about her work. I was snooping at it earlier today when I should have been working. So.
Well, let's do that. Let's stop talking to us. Aurora, well, actually, we didn't even ask you how you're doing. Well, that's just as important. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I was helping with a little bit of wedding preparation. I was making paper flowers today for my friend Danny. She's getting married in a couple weeks. Since the restrictions have kind of lightened up a bit, she's able to have, I think it's like 40 people at her ceremony. Wow. Everybody masked, everybody social distance and everything. And yeah, she's pretty excited, and I'm pretty excited to help out at least. So yeah, I had a bit of a good day getting ready and talking about the wedding, and yeah, it's kind of exciting. It
was a beautiful day too. You get a nice breeze coming through. It's just awesome day today. Shelly and I went for a drive out by Canal Road and stuff. Just a nice day to be out and do stuff.
Definitely. And Elisa, how are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just enjoyed the weather. I was off today, so ran some errands. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. So, for the listeners that don't know much about you, aside from my little intro, can you explain a little bit about what you do?
Sure. So I am a portrait photographer. I've loved photography for as long as I could remember. I've been at Cosmo Music for about 5 years. I was one of their product photographers. So any of the guitars and product that came into the store, we would shoot in our studio and we would upload it to our website. And I'm now into marketing, which is fun. It's not where I thought I'd be, but I'm enjoying it. So yeah.
It's awesome.
That's a little bit about me and what I do.
I could see Mark in the corner reacting a little bit.
I just not here. It doesn't say Cosmo Music.
Mark's popping big time right
like,
now.
Oh, my head just blew up. I'm not a musician. Don't get me wrong there. I'm a guy that loves guitars, and I have a small collection of guitars, and I love them. They're like art to me, and the fact that you photograph them, I love photographing them as well. That's awesome. I didn't see that. I was snooping on your website earlier today, and under the creative, you got some really cool stuff there. I know the link will be in the bio for everyone to see, but go on to Elisa's website, take a look at some of the creative stuff. There's some very looked like you did some black light imagery in there as well, which was pretty cool. But I didn't see any guitars, so you get some guitars up there so I can go and enjoy those too.
Will do.
That's awesome.
So you're not. So are you not with Cosmo anymore? You're with somebody else doing marketing?
No, I'm with Cosmo. I'm doing marketing for Cosmo, so I'm updating like product pages and their website and keeping everything up to date. That's what I'm doing now. I've been working from home for 1.5 years because of COVID, and it's been good. It's been great. Yeah, I definitely miss shooting, though, for sure.
Yeah.
That must be a big change for you. I mean, shooting portraiture and then all of a sudden COVID hits. And how did that impact you? Like, how did that transition happen? It was just all of a sudden, same as us, March 17th, all of a sudden the world stops and you've got to find a new way of doing things?
Yeah, it was hard. It was definitely hard. It was different. I took that time to kind of focus on like more like creative stuff that I wanted to do at home. So I did a lot more baking and cooking. So I kind of just tried to work with some like food photography and tried new things, which, it's hard. I miss working with people one-on-one, but what are you going to do, right?
Yeah. But you still actually have done quite a bit of, outdoor portrait work over this time. Like, I know that you had mentioned that you had a special promotion going on with, I believe it was Groupon.
So I just signed with Groupon a few months ago. Again, it's been pretty slow because COVID and people don't want to get out and, shoot. But yeah, they've reached out to me and I signed with them. So you can find me through Groupon at a discounted rate. And yeah, I'm excited for when that picks up. I'd like for that to pick up. Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it looks like the world's coming out of the lockdown. It feels like the world's coming out of the lockdown. I keep checking the numbers slowly but surely, a little bit by bit, step by step, inch by inch. Have you got plans for like a relaunch? Have you thought that far ahead where you're just like, you've got everything in line where you're ready as soon as things pick up just to get going?
I was thinking about it. Yeah, I think so. I want to, offer maybe like some kind of a promotion or something to kind of help draw people in. I think that would be the fair thing to do. I know a lot of people have been struggling and it's the least I can do, get people for myself and then to give people, portraits at a discounted rate.
I think as we come out of this, people will see the value in having those pictures of their family around. I know a lot of what got us through for my wife and I, we moved to Thunder Bay and we literally moved in, we unpacked, and then COVID hit and they said, stay home. So my wife didn't have a job up here. We moved here for my career. So I was still working, but we don't have any friends in Thunder Bay. COVID made it impossible to meet people. But what we have is those photographs of our friends. And, for me, I don't do it anymore because of my new career. But when I did photography. I have a lot of really great pictures of friends' weddings and things like that from doing wedding photos, and that's sort of what gets you through is looking at those photos and remembering the good times with your family and your friends. And I think if you can capture that, there's going to be a new niche of people that really want those photos in case something happens again, and especially those who have lost somebody, they'll know the value of having that photo now, even though there's somebody missing from it because they lost that person during the pandemic.
Yeah, really.
Not necessarily from the pandemic, but during, right?
Yeah.
Well, the time that you're not with your family or with the people. Absolutely. Yeah. I've been blessed that hasn't been the case yet. Fingers crossed. Yeah. It's pretty scary.
It's definitely scary stuff. That's for sure.
So do you shoot weddings? And I saw events. I didn't click on the events. I went straight to the creative piece. But do you shoot weddings as well, or?
No. So I've shot a couple weddings with Aurora as like a second shooter, but it's not really something that I wanted to get into. It's a long day, craziness, and I just can't get over the fact of there's that chance that I might mess up somebody's day. You know what I mean? Like not being able to capture that one image because it's such a fast-paced day that it's not so much.
I can relate.
It is stressful. Yeah. It is. That's part of the reason why I don't do them anymore.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I coined the term "I shoot for me." Having to live up to other people's expectations didn't work for me. So I ended up I shoot for me. I'm not going to shoot a wedding. I'm not going to do those things for that reason. But there's a lot to be said for people that brave through that kind of anxiety, I guess you could say. Pushing yourself through to an uncomfortable place in your creative world definitely helps bring out something new. You said that during this whole break, you've tried some different things. Was there anything that you tried that you just think, thank God I did that? Like me setting up flashes in the backyard and taking pictures of the birds. That was one of those things. It was like I had never done that before, and it changed the way I shoot now. Do you have anything like that you've done during the break?
Well, I've done more like food photography and stuff at home and like picked up some new hobbies. But in terms of like trying like something new with for photography, Aurora and I tried with the levitating photography and the multiple exposure. So we did that in the fall with one of our close friends, and that was a lot of fun. So, trying something new, something that I've wanted to try for so long, it was really fun and it was nice.
I thank you for helping on that because that was all part of one of the videos that we did for Henry's too. So that was super cool.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
I missed doing those.
A lot of fun.
It was a great day, and
I miss watching those. I used to watch them all the time.
Yeah, so that's a conversation we'll have off air.
Yeah, Elisa is the one who was kind of what's it called? Encouraged me to talk to Brian about potentially starting a podcast.
Thank you for doing that.
So,
now she's a guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
And now she's thinking, I shouldn't have done that because now I'm stuck on this podcast. These three maniacs.
Yeah, it could have been four maniacs. Ryan's not here tonight.
I'm sad he's not here because he would have had four photographers ganging up on him.
I know he must love when we have photographers all the time.
We could have ganged up on him. He doesn't watch things.
Elisa, actually, we were talking about getting out of our comfort zone a little bit with shooting. And I think some of the shooting that you've done for Cosmo is actually really amazing because you have had the chance to meet some really cool artists up close and personal, taking pictures of them for Cosmo Music. Could you share a little bit about the people you've met and the pictures you've taken at like Cosmo Fest and other events?
So we have an annual festival, like an event at work. It's called Cosmo Fest, and we just try to bring the community together. There's free music, there's food trucks, there's clinics, there's a sale that goes on. And one of my favorite things about that day, as long and crazy as it is working with the artists. It's been really cool. I've worked with people like Biff Naked, Big Reg, Finger 11, Jordan Rudis from Dream Theater, Nico McBrain from Iron Maiden. It's really cool. So they have these, there's like a main stage and they perform and people can, enjoy free music, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Nico, I remember when I was growing up, I used to read Modern Drummer magazine all the time, and Nico on the cover in there all the time. What was that like? I mean, that must have been crazy. Is he just a regular guy, or is he like?
Yeah, he's
Iron
super,
Maiden?
super nice, down to earth, really, really friendly. He was very interactive with his fans, which I loved because not everyone is like that. And he's just a really cool guy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You also mentioned Big Wreck.
Yes.
Didn't we have somebody? It wasn't Dan.
Yeah, Dan Preston. Yeah, he's their front of house guy. Big Wreck. We had Dan Preston on a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if you
cool.
worked with Dan at the same time. I wonder if he was there.
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends.
Not that I think so.
Yeah, you may bring in your own sound people for that, right? Because you obviously Cosmo Music, you probably got people that can do that too. So
yeah.
PAs and Mikey, but yeah, it's Dan is. I think it's Big Wreck. He runs the front of house for now on all their shows for the audio. So
cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Lots of talent in Ontario, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Lots of people chomping at the bit to get back to it too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Sure.
I miss live music. I said to my wife yesterday, I want to go to a rock show. I need a rock show in my life. I don't care who it is. I just want to go as long as it's a rock show.
Have you done any of the drive-in concerts last summer?
There's no drive-in. There's no drive-in up here, so we didn't get an opportunity. But
Newmarket does them.
I would have done them if it was close. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done any, but I have seen Newmarket do their stuff.
Yeah. I thought about it, but I was a little kind of busy with things last summer, but I think it would have been a pretty cool experience to go to the drive-in and like watch a concert. Because that's something that I really miss too. Like every summer I'd go at least to one with Andrew, whether it's outdoor, indoor. I mean, Elisa and I, we've been friends since high school, and Elisa, looking now, Elisa working for Cosmo Music is like a perfect kind of pairing because she was always a super fan of many different music related bands and that kind of thing all throughout high school, and it's really cool to see that kind of brought in with her position at Cosmo. So
how did that start? Did you start working at Cosmo and then get into photography because of that? Were you a photographer first? Did you have another job that you were doing that you were bored of, that you started doing photography? Like, what was that transition into making photography your full-time gig?
So growing up, I always loved photography, and it was, end of high school, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. And I had so many people trying to talk me out of photography that it wasn't going to be, it's not a sustainable job, and, you shouldn't do that. You should get into something more, something more securing. And I took a couple years off of school just to kind of figure out if that's what I wanted to do. And there was nothing else I wanted to do. I said, you know what, I'll try it. If I fail, then I'll take it from there. Right. So I went to college, and I was in my last year of college. One of my professors came to me and said that someone from Cosmo had reached out, which was the lead photographer. They were looking for a junior assistant photographer, and that it was not too far from where I lived, and that I should apply. And I did, and I got the job. So I've been there for 5 years now. Just kind of landed in my lap, really.
That's awesome.
That was fate.
Awesome. Yep.
In Yiddish, they call that bashert. It was meant to be.
I'm curious, Elisa, was there like this aha moment when you were younger? Because you said you've always loved photography. Is there this moment that you go back to that you remember when you picked up the camera for the first time? Whatever it may be. Do you have something like that? Elisa?
I'm really sorry. It was really robotic-y.
Oh.
What you said.
Oh no.
Yes.
I'm just curious if you have a little bit of an aha moment from your past getting into photography. Like, was there this one moment or one camera or whatever it may be that kind of kick-started your passion when you were younger for photography?
Well, I don't really know. I just kind of like always had something with me, and at events, and I just wanted to take pictures. For me, it was always like I wanted to capture that moment, because things aren't made to last forever, right? So I wanted to capture that moment, and I wanted to make that moment last forever. So I was always that person that was taking photos and making those memories for people. And I guess that's what that was for me. It wasn't really anything super specific.
Where'd you get your first camera?
It was a gift. It was a gift. It was a little like plastic film camera that I don't know how much film I used to go through, and I just wanted to get it developed constantly. I don't even remember what it was. It was just small and purple. That's all I remember from it. But yeah.
That's awesome. Mine too was like one of those plastic point and shoot cameras. I still have mine upstairs because luckily it was built pretty well, so it sustained all the moves I've gone through and stuff over life. That's awesome.
It's interesting where people get the inspiration to keep going and to follow that passion. For myself, photography, I got a little 110 camera when I was in Vermont years and years ago. Never really clicked with me. I didn't really get into photography until I started working at Henry's. And that's when that passion kicked in. Before that, I played music. Do you play an instrument? Is that another thing that you do, where you have one creative passion leads you to another, and then just there's always something there to keep you going? Is there an instrument in your life that you play or anything? Oh, did you cut out?
Hello. Yes,
hey.
I cut out. Sorry, I'm back now.
Okay, so I was just wondering, like, is there an instrument? Do you play any kind of instruments at all, or is it just photography as your creative expression?
It's just photography. I played a little bit of the clarinet in high school, and I tried to pick up the guitar a few years ago, but
didn't click.
No, it didn't really click. I'd like to try to get back into it. I love the guitar, but eventually.
You should play the drums. Everybody likes playing the drums.
No,
I really wanted to play drums as a kid. There's something about it, but yeah.
It's freeing. You get to hit things. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it would be very freeing.
Yep. Hit it as hard as you can and just yells at you and wants more. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. Were there other photographers in your life? Like I saw in the notes there, your mom was always creative. Was she a photographer as well, or?
No, there's no photographers in my family. No one.
Okay.
Yeah, just creative. My mom always just kind of tried to push me into what I wanted to do, and seeing her, she loves to cook and she's always trying new things, and she pushed me, and this is where I am now. Right? Yeah.
That's pretty cool though, that you're when somebody's just pushing you to be creative, like find your own niche and be creative, and then you sort of fell into photography, you fell in love with photography, and then started doing it with that little camera, and now here you are. I mean, that's pretty cool. And I'll reference the website again. I mean, looking through some of the portraiture and the way that you like things, or actually I'm thinking back to our episode 0, something Aurora said with the things that you didn't liked during those portraits to get a specific type of shadow and things like that. Some pretty cool effects that you've got with your lighting in there. So to come that far and obviously through college and whatnot, and with what you do with work, playing off those light and shadows is very important, and you're very good at it. So again, I encourage everybody to go check out your website afterwards. That's in the notes below.
So just for the people who are listening, maybe describe a couple of your creative concept photo shoots, and maybe a little bit of like where you got that inspiration from.
Okay. So I've always loved Andy Warhol and his pop art kind of, his artwork. So I've always wanted to kind of think out of the box and do something different. So in college with all these assignments, I wanted to be that person that was different from the rest of the class. So I would play with black light and different colors. I've done like pop art shoots. I've always wanted to take like my work like one step further, even though a lot of my portraiture work is kind of simple, minimal editing, just want to keep it clean and simple. I do love to experiment, and my friends have been nothing but patient and helpful to help me get those all my thoughts just out and help create those photos. So yeah, there was one with like reflections. I can't remember how many, there's a lot, but yeah, just having the light and poking like holes through and shining the light through and getting the reflections on. It's all in black and white. It's just, yeah, there's series of different images. I have them both on my website or on Instagram where you guys can see. But yeah.
It was really cool to work kind of in front of the camera in some of those shots, because I was able to be a model for a couple of her creative shoots. So I was a part of the black light shoot with some of the girls there, and then the shadow one that you were talking about, Elisa. I was in that one as well. There I am, flowers, and that kind of thing. So I don't know. I'm used to being behind the camera all the time, so it's very different for me to kind of be on the opposite end of it, and seeing how Elisa works with the camera and that kind of thing. I really do admire how you're always driven to do these like passion projects for yourself. Like you're always wanting to do something creative, something maybe themed for, a particular time of year, like Halloween, the Halloween shoot and that kind of thing. So cute.
Is that a hedgehog?
It is a hedgehog. I had to bring that one up.
That was my hedgehog. Yeah.
That's a Santa hedgehog.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to show this to Shelly. I don't think she's ever seen a Santa hedgehog. And she's an elf, so she needs to see the Santa hedgehog.
Very cute.
Actually, I have some questions for you. One of the things I want to really get into is, I know it's going to sound kind of stupid because I'm turning 50 and whatever, but I want to do TikTok. And one of the things that I want to do is something called the Real Dark Light, which is a light painting page, I guess you could say, with a character. So instead of it being me, I want it to be a character of me. So I wanted to get black light. I wanted to do makeup on me so it didn't look like me. So I'd get up there in front of the camera and do like a little intro to, hey, here's a thing. I'm going to black light, or I'm going to light paint this thing. And that would be my whole gimmick. It would be like a 15-second time-lapse thing. But the black light part of it is really confusing to me. The paints that you need, the makeup, whatever that is, to light it properly and to really get that stark contrast so you can't see the person underneath the makeup as much. Mm-hmm. Was that a real challenge for you to learn? And I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about it, because that is something I want to do, and I've just been waiting for somebody who's done it to get that information. Like, how hard is that to do?
It was pretty hard. It was hard to get the colors to be vibrant. So, it takes a few passes over the skin. As for the makeup, it was my friend helped with the makeup, and she just kind of, she just freestyled it.
But she knew what she was doing with the application and so on, which helps.
Yeah. So for the light, I just used one bar, like a single, like a fluorescent bulb, and a UV bulb, sorry. And I just kind of would hold it in place to kind of like to see like where I wanted it exactly. And yeah, so it turned out, but yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, you got great color.
A lot of planning goes into these shoots. So like I have like mood boards and everything and images, and I kind of just try to like bring things together, and yeah, so.
There's so many different facets that go into making something like that. Like you say, the image, people don't think the part that people do. Mark, I know you have something to say too, but I know a lot of shots that you've done with Jay. There's a lot of thought that goes into that. People don't realize the thought goes into being a good quality photographer. Kudos to you. It's really cool stuff. Sorry, Mark, go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, is there any special processing considerations when you're shooting with a black light, or is it basically just do you set your white balance manually or automatic? Do it set it auto, or do you shoot raw? How do you deal with that?
So the white balance was on auto, and everything, like I shoot in manual, I shoot in raw, and then in post I made them just adjusted the vibrance a bit, but other than that, I don't do much editing. I don't want to play around with the images too much. It's not really my thing, but
I'm with you.
Yeah, I just like to light it properly, shoot it properly, and minimal post.
There you go. If you light it right, you don't need to edit it too much.
Yeah, and that's my curse. I don't light it right, and then I end up in Photoshop for 21 hours or something like that for one picture. No, I did it once. Well, that was a composite, but it's that's Brian. You had said that I plan out my shots a lot, and I don't actually. There's an idea, and then we show up and we shoot it, and sometimes we show up and we shoot it, and I go, oh, that's not at all what I thought it was going to be. So I think I can learn something from Elisa and do some boards and actually think about it more before I get on set.
There you go.
And do that. So that could be something that I do.
Especially with the creatives, like it's makeup, it's the poses, the clothing that goes into it. Like the one that's on the screen right now with Nicole, she was wearing like neon lashes. Just, it's crazy. A lot of research, a lot of time, a lot of planning goes into this. And then just to see it come all together, it's really cool. I love it.
Yeah, that's a really cool result.
Yeah.
I really like that. That's cool. And I do have to ask, the last picture of a pet that I had on the screen there, was that Kodak?
The little kitten?
Yeah.
Yes, that's Kodak.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's a cutie.
He is a cutie.
It's so nice having a cat that'll pose for you.
Yeah, I dress him up. He poses for me. All I have to say is stay, and he stays and take his picture, and then he knows he's getting a treat. He's really good. He's really well trained.
Did you see our episode with Eddie, the bow tie cat?
Yes, I watched that yesterday.
Oh,
so cute.
Eddie is so cute. He just gets all dressed up. Dixie, forget about it. I've got Scratch right here. This is just from Patton earlier. I mean, like you don't put clothes on our cat. That's for sure.
I know. He has an outfit for every occasion, every holiday. Yeah, I'm that cat lady.
Well, as long as the cat doesn't mind.
Well, you only have one cat though, right?
I only have one cat.
Yeah, so you're not the crazy cat lady. You're good. Yeah.
He's my baby, so.
They're fur babies. They're all.
Yeah.
They're all over my house. 2 dogs as well. So.
Yeah. Wow.
There you go.
Do you have any actual human babies?
No babies.
No babies. So none of us have babies.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
There's a sucky one coming in.
Oh.
This is Nitro.
So
cute. Yeah, he's a sucky. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy.
Yeah.
He usually makes an appearance on the show.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Kodak.
Yeah, that's what I say. He's got a little bit of Bengal in him as well. That's why I asked if Kodak could be a jerk sometimes, because this cat can
for sure sometimes.
be a jerk. Yeah. But part of it is I feel bad though, because I'm the guy that gets mad at him, but he just wants to love you. But he's right here, and I'm trying to be on a conference call or something. And he's like,
you really have to learn cat.
He comes on to the desk while I'm working too. Wow. And it's like, okay, like I'm trying to type an email, and I've sent emails before by accident with just like unfinished, and it's like, sorry, my cat keyboard sat on my keyboard, but
Dixie loves sitting on the computer, and I come in the morning and my computer has like a million windows open, and she's got features turned on that I have no idea how they ever turn on. I didn't know how to turn them off. I literally have to turn the whole computer off sometimes. She just,
oh my gosh,
this cat knows more about my Mac than I do. I don't understand it. All right. So what other things do you think you want to get into creatively? Like we all have other things that we want to try. Is there something on a bucket list of yours that you think, I just still need to do this?
Well, as of like the last year, I've really tried to venture out and try new things. So like different ways to stay creative. And I've again, tried recipes, tried new food photography. I've been refurnishing old furniture. I love scrunchies, so I started sewing and I started making my own scrunchies and I sell them on Etsy.
Nice.
My boyfriend and I love beef jerky, so we started making it, and now we have a small jerky business.
You have a jerky business?
Yep.
It's like completely opposite end of the world.
I know. It's
awesome.
Crazy. We can't keep up, but I can't complain. It's been great. I started painting again. I love art. That's where it all started. I love painting. I love drawing. I got back into art and drawing. Digital art. I've been selling notebooks on Amazon. And I've done some pottery and clay work. I just bought like clay and I've been making like jewelry dishes and stuff. And I've just been selling them on Etsy. So I've kind of like done a little bit of everything.
No kidding.
Just to keep busy. So yeah.
That's great. So
totally relate with this one, Elisa. Like being home during COVID, like I had so many little like not even little, like I had so many projects, but I think that you've really taken ownership of these projects and like brought them to that next level. You're actually selling these things on Etsy and on Instagram with the beef jerky business. Like Andrew can't get enough of this jerky. He loves it.
You just ordered 2 more bags today.
See, this is the thing, right? Like, and I never see it. He knows that I'm not a big fan of jerky, but it's one of those things.
Do you ship?
I can.
We'll talk after the show. I gotta try this beef jerky.
Yeah, you have a lot of flavors, don't you?
What? You have 11 different flavors right now. Yeah.
Oh, I'm buying a lot of beef jerky after the show.
It's like the Baskin Robbins of beef jerky,
right?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. So with your Etsy store, do you like take orders, or you just make something and then post it and sell it? How does that?
I just make stuff and then I post it and sell it.
Okay.
Yeah. For now, until I get the hang of it. There's just a lot going on right now. Plus, I'm working full time, doing shoots on the side whenever somebody wants something. So yeah, it's been busy. I can't complain. I haven't been bored the entire pandemic, which is good. Which I feel has really helped.
Yeah.
With,
My wife, she works in a mall. So she hadn't been able to get back to work until this coming Thursday. So from March or whatever that last lockdown was until Thursday, poor Shelly has had nothing to do. I mean, she's done stuff in the yard and she tried to find things to do. And of course, now that she knows she has to go back, she has a list all of a sudden that's shown up of all these things that she's wanted to do the whole time. And now she has just a few days to do it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's one thing to have all this time and just kind of let things happen and wait until find out the world's going to happen. And it's a totally other thing to just be so proactive and to get out there and to start 4 businesses and to try and equally keep them each going. That's insane. Like, I've done nothing. I feel like I've done nothing this entire break.
We started the podcast.
I know. One day a week we do this.
No, but there's planning and there's trying to find guests and things. And I mean, you guys have found most of the guests. I've had 3, but you guys. Oh,
and I'm holding back. Holding back. There's a lot of people that I've wanted to ask. But I want you guys to have more guests too. I mean, this is awesome. I would have never known that
what I want.
Jerky. I want jerky now.
I want beef jerky. That's what I want.
Yeah. Of all the things we talk about, we focus on beef jerky.
Right. I know. But no, I just love that you're so creative in so many different areas, Elisa. Like that's awesome. And
the follow through.
I feel like we should put a link to our Etsy store down below too. Can we do that?
Well, we'll get all the links.
Yeah.
And please make sure we have these links, and then we'll put them in the notes when I post this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be great. But no, I'm just trying to think if I've got any. Now, of course, now that you've said, I see it in the notes. Small jerky business. I'm like, are you kidding me? I should really read the whole notes. Read the article.
I think the reaction is great to have on camera or in voice.
I'm surprised I didn't start drooling. I might have needed that napkin.
First the guitars, then the jerky.
I know, right? So don't tell everyone else, but Elisa's my favorite guest.
Well,
But and the stripy cat, like it's just
There's too many. You're checking all the boxes. What's your end game? What's your end goal? Where do you think this is all going to end up? What are you really hoping for? I mean, we all want to retire, but before then, what's your end goal?
With photography, or with everything?
Just in your career, just like the dream, the way it's supposed to all turn out at the end.
So realistically, I'd like to have my own studio, my own space where I could just, do everything for work for myself, and then still have my hobbies on the side and my small businesses. I like to keep busy, and I like to just, I'd rather be overly busy than not have anything going on and creating, and, I just love it. I'm
just trying to visualize your studio right now. There'd be a kitchen. There'd be, a portrait area. There'd be like all these just different things.
I need like a little she shed or something, just out back, my space, everything everywhere. Yeah. That would be your goal.
I'm thinking it's going to be like probably like a 25 by 60 she shed. One of those big corrugated metal Quonset hut buildings or something. Studio at one end and a kitchen at the other, and that would be cool.
And the kitchen will be multi-purpose because you could do your food photography as well as your jerky making.
Yeah. It'll all be lit properly, right? So you just take a picture and away.
Perfect. One of the things you said earlier was your friends and family, or people, I don't know if it was friends and family specifically, were telling you that you shouldn't do photography because it's not sustainable. Mm-hmm. Is it sustainable in this day and age? Do you think photography is a sustainable career?
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. You just need to get out there and clientele. There's a lot of repeat customers, loyal customers that keep coming back. It's all word of mouth, for sure. For sure. There's so many different types of photography that you can do. You can get into, so many different areas that, for sure, I think it is sustainable.
Nice. Well, that's good to hear. Gives me hope. Yeah, I just teach this stuff. I don't do it. So
I like that you said, not true. I like that you said that you get the repeat customers, because that's I think what some people are missing is that if you can get into a family like my wife and I, we did the small photography business previous to moving up here, but we had a lot of our clients were from the same family groups. You would shoot a wedding and the family would like you so much. You're like, oh, you need to shoot this wedding now, or now they're having a baby or something like that. And suddenly you're shooting, prenatal portraits, and you're doing all these other life events for them. And I even had one client that every time they had a big party of some sort, we were invited as guests, but also paid as the photographers. So, and everybody just got to know us, and we just shot the event, and they got all the pictures, and we got paid at the end of the night. Plus, we got fed, so it was really, really a lot of fun. But those are those clients that you become a part of their family, and they want you to be at every major milestone.
Yeah.
There's so many bad experiences that people go through in the world of photography that when they deal with somebody that is professional and does a good job and has a good creative sense and really can produce, you're going to get that business. I mean, they're going to stay with that person until you ruin that relationship. They're going to stay with that person. It just makes sense. So good on you for doing that. Staying so active and really self-promoting and doing all the things you need to do. It's not easy. And you got to have hustle. Yeah. You got to have hustle. So you've got the hustle, which is good. Yeah. Speaking of hustle, there is a question that we usually ask some folks at the end of one of our shows. Unless Aurora or Mark, you have any other questions that you'd like to ask before? No? Take that as a no?
I think I'm
all right. Do you want me to ask it?
Yeah, I do want you to ask it. I'm just
okay. So at the end of every show, we always ask every guest 2 main questions and then a bigger question at the end. So what is your jam? What is kind of that favorite song that gets you moving? Something that you like to listen to while working, or even just like getting a good start on the day? What's that song?
Oh man, there's so many. Lately I've been really digging the new John Mayer album. Just the whole album in general, it really gets me up and moving. Anything by the Arkells, usually just have a playlist running, but yeah.
Yeah. You guys must be best friends.
No.
No, not at all. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Next question then. What is that thing that you always take with you? Doesn't have to be a physical thing. It doesn't have to be. It could be really anything. What is that thing that you always have with you for you to produce something creatively? And I'm keeping this an open question because it doesn't necessarily have to just be photography. It could be any of the creative passions that you have in many of the different avenues. What's that tool that you need with you to create?
If it's in terms of everything, probably a notebook or a sketch pad that I always carry with me to jot things down and to plan. That's a really big tool for me. Yeah.
And what about like specifically for certain things? Just out of curiosity.
Specifically for certain things, oh man, I don't know. This is tough.
It's a tough one.
I don't know. I really don't. I'm so lost.
I feel like the notebook is totally true to you. Ever since I've known you, you've always had many different notebooks always with you.
A notebook, a planner, a sketchbook. It's always on me. Yeah.
And then I think the other thing, we didn't talk about this much, but you love Pinterest.
Yes.
And that's one of the places that you create like the mood boards on for certain things. So I'm on one with you for different creative photo shoot ideas. And then, we just pin things and tag things and that kind of thing. And I think that's also another way of having like a notebook or a mood board
for sure.
Online. That's awesome.
Very cool. Very cool. I'm gonna have to try the mood board, or at least planning a shoot before I actually get there. I usually leave a lot of that to my wife. She's my prop maker. So, no, that's awesome that you do that, and you actually obviously execute it very well. So, I'm gonna steal that idea, I think.
There you go.
And the last one.
And the last one is every week we give a challenge to our listeners, our viewers. It's actually set by the guest on the show. So, Elisa, what would you challenge to the listeners of the Expressions podcast to try out or do or just challenge?
So there's so many different forms that you can be creative, and I've branched out and I've tried a few over the past year. So whatever it may be, I just challenge you to just get up and do the thing. Just do whatever you want, whatever you have been wanting to try or want, to experience or create. Just go out and do it. You'll love it. It's great. Just
make it happen.
Just make it happen. If it scares you, if it's big or small, just get out there and do whatever it is.
Solid advice. I mean, so many people put up roadblocks for themselves to not try things, like me in my real dark light. The thing that I want to do with the light painting and all that. I've had this idea now for a couple of months, and I created the accounts and I've done all the preliminary, but just to actually record the things and to do the light painting and to pay for the makeup. And that's another thing. I don't want to pay for something that I'm not going to use properly too. I mean, you put blocks up in front of you, and it's not easy to just make things happen. So do you have an example of something like that you've done for yourself where you just said, no, I'm just doing it?
No, normally when I want to do something, I just go ahead and do it. So if I have an idea, I'm set on it and I start planning. I get all the stuff I need and I shoot. Actually, one of the ones that Aurora and we put on hold a little bit is the milk bath series we want to shoot. But I think now that COVID is, restrictions are easing up and stuff, I'd love to get back on track with that one.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. It'd be fun. Very creative way of shooting portraits. I think it's going to be a really fun shoot when we do it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe after you.
Sorry.
Did we just lose Brian?
Yeah.
Cut out a little bit there.
You went all robotic.
Hello.
Yeah, you're there now. You went all robotic on us.
It's showing me that I have a low bandwidth. So, now my connection is fairly good. It's fairly good.
Okay. Fairly good. Well, you look fairly good. So we're
well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you. That's an improvement over normal.
What were you saying, Brian, before
I forget?
I think you were talking about them. I think you and I were thinking the same thing. You were saying once you're finished the milk bath, we'll have to have you back on the show to talk about it.
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah. So I think that would be really cool. My mind goes to like the bathtub full of Cheerios, but I'm.
That's one of the ones I want to try for sure. Yeah. But I was thinking more like flowers, leaves, and then I was thinking of maybe like a 6 series kind of shoot of different type of milk bath. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, that's very excited. Cool.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it when it's done.
Sure. Yeah, the milk bath pictures are really interesting because when you think of milk bath, you think like solid milk in a bath. In my opinion, like that's the first thing I think of. But when I've seen like creative milk bath shoots, it almost looks like the water is like fog. It's kind of like this cloudy, swirled water, and then you mix like flowers into it and leaves or sparkles or something into it, and it just looks so cool.
Very cool.
Did you ever give yourself a photo project to work on that you look back at now and think, I probably shouldn't have done that?
Ooh, that's a really good
one.
No.
I've loved everything that I've done. No matter, like, you get better with time and, with practice, the more you do these creative shoots. But I've loved every single one of them, and they're all so different that,
I remember a while back I was approached by a friend to do a shoot where he had done many other shoots where he's trying to bring out your inner personality. Mm-hmm. And it was on a chair, and he had several different people, and my friend Navi had like minute rice because she's Asian. She had minute rice falling. And what he wanted me, because my background is Jewish, is he wanted like pennies falling. And I refused to do it because I knew my mother would not want that. Like that's not cool. So looking back at that experience, I'm proud that I didn't do it. And of course, my friend is not proud that she did do it. And, those are one of those experiences where, that person who did the photo shoot is now super famous. And I'm sure that if that came out, it probably would be so flattering to his position. But that's why I was wondering, like, have you ever come into a situation where these creative ideas just kind of didn't hold up over time? They just, didn't age well. Nothing like that.
No, nothing like
that. Good
for
you. That's because you have good judgment. When you have bad judgment, you do things like the other one.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's a matter of like just deciding what you think is appropriate for a shoot. Like I feel like a lot of Elisa's creative stuff that I'm really inspired by is like just like the level of interest in like the look, the makeup, every piece, like the props, the posing, and the look is really well thought out. So I don't think I'm not sure if Elisa would ever get herself into a situation where, something would be kind of like dicey like that.
Good for you.
No, so I have everything planned out that when I'm working with friends or models or whoever, I lay it all out. This is what I want to do, and I work with them to make sure that they're comfortable and that what I want to do, fits that they're okay with it, right? So I've never come into that kind of situation, thank goodness. And I hope I never do, but yeah.
Another interesting question, actually, Elisa. I've had people that I've shot before not want the pictures posted after the fact. Have you ever had a client like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a few, and it's always like the favorite shoots, the best ones that they don't want posted. So it's heartbreaking, but you gotta respect their decision and just move on with your day. Yeah,
exactly.
I guess when you're shooting for somebody else, it has less to do with what you want, more to do with what they want, right? So
for sure, and I have to respect that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it's what they're comfortable with, right?
for sure.
Definitely.
Mark, is there something you wanted to share there?
No, I was just thinking that's probably more along my lines, where I've got pictures, especially for the scavenger hunts and things like that, that I haven't shared out because of subject matter. I did the one, I do photography scavenger hunts, and I did one, the image was for shoe. And I don't know why, but my imagery, a lot of times when an idea pops in my head, it tends to be fairly dark. So I just torn out a room in our house. I tore out all the flooring. So I rolled myself up in a piece of the carpet, with my feet hanging out the end and one shoe off, but I had dragged the carpet through fake blood first. So I was like the body in the carpet, and with an axe leaning on the back of the car and a tarp and all that. And there was handprints on the carpet, my wife's handprints. But it was a photo that met with some negative commentary in one of the photo communities, because I didn't think that the subject matter was appropriate for the particular shoot that it was, or for the community. So I've come into that a couple of times with my imagery, but for me it's art, right? So I always think if they don't like it for the art, just scroll on along and don't worry about it. But I do have pictures on my hard drives of subject matter like that I won't share. And we lost Brian.
Maybe connection issues. Yeah, I can kind of understand that and get behind like maybe why someone wouldn't want to see that. But I think photography is a really creative expression, and the people who are shooting are allowed to shoot what they think is good, provided it's not like insulting people or hurting people. It was all a setup in your thing. It was just fake blood. It was just fake this, right? So that's one of those things. I feel like when you're doing something like this, it's more take your imagination and run with it type of
and
thing.
that's what I do them for. I do them not because I ever think I'm going to sell that image, but it was because it was sort of that tongue-in-cheek. I always like to come up with that idea of what aren't other people like going to come up with. Like I try to think outside that box, that it's going to be such a different image. And every now and again, somebody surprises me and they come up with the same idea that I did. And I'm like, whoa, that guy's twisted just like I am. But it can get a little touchy at times, but
I think I don't know if you remember this, Elisa, when we did that Halloween shoot in oh my goodness, I'm forgetting the name of the park. What was the park?
Guild Park.
Yeah, Guildwood Park. So when we were there was not many people there. There was another I don't know, photographer or something like that. And then later on towards the end of the day, we went to the cabin, and then there was people walking by as Melissa was kind of in the ground, like posing dead almost, with like blood on the wedding dress and the white, makeup and stuff like that. And we got some weird looks, but never, any issue, like never anybody like putting a commentary on, why we were doing it type of thing. But yeah, sometimes you'll get that, like when you're trying to shoot, you'll get people who are like staring or maybe, looking at you weird or something like that. And I think you kind of just have to, work through it a bit, like not worry about what they're thinking or what they're saying, and just like, bring your creative vision to light for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the important thing, is to remember that what we do create is art, and it's art for us. And like Brian, I mean, I don't create it to sell it. I create it for me and to better myself as a photographer. So that's where that comes from for me.
Definitely.
And just like there are many different photographers, there's many different reasons for being photographers and different motivations for turning things into our lifestyle. I think it's pretty amazing, though, that you're able to, take a passion. And this is what the whole show is about, is people that can take their passion and turn it into something that generates an income and generates a lifestyle for themselves. It's not easy when you can take something that is just up here That's really all it is. It's just ideas, and turn that into income. It's incredible that people do things like this. I mean, people go to college for decades sometimes to learn how to be a doctor or learn how to be something like that, and that's how they make their living. Meanwhile, all it takes is somebody with a little bit of creativity, a little bit of drive, maybe the right door to walk through from time to time, and you can turn it into a sustainable living. Did college help you with that? Going to college, did that give you that extra boost you needed, or would you have done it without college?
No, college definitely gave me that boost that I needed. There's something about being in those rooms with people that have the same passion with you, that are working towards the same goal as you, that pushed me to be a better photographer, and made me realize that, yeah, this is something that I can do, and I'll be okay, so yeah, it definitely helped.
That's cool. Well, good for you. Good for you for all the things that you've done beef jerky. I mean, come on. We're going to get some jerky. We're going to do live reaction to eating your beef jerky on our show.
Perfect.
That's fun.
I think that'd be awesome. We should definitely do that.
For sure. All right, Aurora.
Excellent.
Well, thanks so much, Elisa, for being on. I really, really appreciate it. I wanted to have you have this, a great, broad creativity conversation, because there's just so many facets of creativity that you've kind of delved into, and you really plan things out. And I always admired that about you. So thank you so much for being on. Before we close up, though, usually right at the end of the podcast, we talk a little bit about some causes that we like to support. So myself and Brian work at Henry's, and Henry's supports, Henry's actually started a foundation for mental health. And basically how it works is all the donations that we take in the store or online at henrysfoundation.com go directly to Kids Help Phone, KMH, Jack.org, and other Canadian mental health institutions in Vancouver, Quebec, and Nova Scotia. It's a really amazing charity. Right now, more than ever, people are struggling because
I made you solo. Don't worry. It's all good.
I was worried that everybody left all at once. And I'm
no,
like,
everybody's here. I just made everybody see you.
The people listening to the podcast with no video will not understand what just happened. Sorry for the distraction there. And yeah, it's just an amazing cause. There's so many people struggling right now, being cooped up inside because of the pandemic. Elisa had a really inspiring, get herself kind of motivated during the pandemic and trying so many different things, and working on herself and all these creative things that she wanted to delve into. There's some people who right now are just struggling with the fact of, being at home, suffering with, depression or whatever it may be. And it's good to know that there's places that can be out there to support you, like CAMH, like Kids Help Phone, and that kind of thing. So that's why we really try to support this charity as much as possible. Another thing that we actually do is a online basically campaign with a hashtag. If you post a photo or a video about what mental health means to you with the hashtag uncaptured moments, it often gets reposted on that Henry's Foundation website or the Henry's Foundation feed. And essentially the idea of the campaign is to show people that it's okay to not be okay. A lot of people are sharing their best life and their best of their best on social media. And I find this is just a very unique way of showing people that, it's okay to struggle sometimes.
A little bit of reality.
Exactly. Showing the reality of things. So
for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you, Mark, as well.
Actually, by the time this airs, that will be over. So, but it will be. We do the shop. I work for Shoppers Drug Mart, and we do the Run for Women every year. And this year it is July 4th to the 11th, and this episode airs on the 12th. But it's a virtual run this year, so By the time you're seeing this, I will have very sore feet and sore legs from doing the walk around Boulevard Park here in Thunder Bay with my wife and my puppies. And we will have raised money for women's mental health charities in Canada across all the Shoppers Drug Mart stores in Canada. There's, I think, 17 cities that there are walks in, 18 if you count the group that's walking in Thunder Bay.
Nice.
So it's going to be a great day.
We all do what we
great
can.
week. Yeah,
Exactly.
there's lots of people out there willing to help, and lots of people that need the help. Unfortunately, so let's help out those people with whatever charity you choose to support. Go good on you, and let's get these people the support they need.
I've definitely seen giving is at an all-time high. It feels like even just talking to people again that are coming into the store, people are donating again. When we were on curbside, we couldn't really get to it. I mean, you're talking to somebody over the phone and helping them buy camera gear. You're not going to start, hey, you want to donate money? I don't know. It just didn't feel organic. Now that people are coming in the store and they can see the cards that people have filled out, thanks to Aurora, we have all the cards up for people to see. It's really nice talking to people again about the foundation. And again, the big reason why we did this whole podcast is for our own mental health, just so we can get away from the doldrums that we've been going through and to start spreading our creative wings once again and talk to other creative people like Elisa. And I love it. I can't thank you enough for being here and for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And keep up the good work. Seriously, with all the different things that you're doing, it's so fun to hear somebody like yourself where you have all these great diverse things that you do, and each one of them brings you joy in a different way. And they give you a little bit of money too, which you can't really knock that. So good for you. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent.
All right. Well, thank you again, Elisa, for joining. We'll include all her links in the description and the comments for you to check her out. You're basically Elisa Spinello Photography on everything, right? Yeah. So the website, Instagram, all that. So check her out. It's really great. Thank you guys for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful week. And tune into us next week on YouTube or Spotify, whatever it may be. Subscribe, all that jazz.
All that
Have
jazz.
a good night.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
Perfect.
Bye.